everybody, or good afternoon or good evening for wherever you are tuning in from. Welcome to the Fumble Live. We are still here. We're delivering you all the latest sports news that you need to know. But first, I'm Devin Howard on Instagram as @DevinHoward.
I'm Jackie Ray, everywhere @JRayTheFanatic.
And it's your boy Chris, everywhere CK2K.
All right, so before we jump into the need-to-know news, I do want to let you all know that today is going to be the last day that we're in studio for the week. We're not really sure what's going to be happening in future weeks, but tomorrow we still will be going live as well as through the rest of the week. It's just going to look a little different. We're not going to be here in studio, but we're going live 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so make sure you tune in. There's still going to be news that you guys want to know, that you need to talk about, and you need to hear about. So make sure you tune in 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're also going to be uploading traditional news reports for you regarding the latest sports news. So everything is proceeding as normal. It's just not going to be here in studio. We're going to be working from home. So you can still count on us to give you all the news that you need to know. And I'll remind you of that throughout the live because I want to make sure you all tune in. All right. That was my public service announcement.
Devin Bomb. That was a Devin Bomb for you guys right there.
Okay, so how are you two doing? How was your weekend? What'd you get up to?
Honestly, my weekend was great because I did exactly what I do every other weekend.
Right.
Stay at home and just be
Love it.
I was playing video games, I streamed, it was just another weekend, man.
So
be smart.
I didn't do the whole, shop extra thing. I mean, except for a little bit. Like I usually only shop for like 2-3 days at a time. But this time I did shop for the whole week. But I was just telling Chris, I also decided to so I did go on in case the zombie apocalypse happens, hair shop. Like I went and bought all the hair supplies to last me for the next 2 months. I got black hair, y'all, it's a thing. So I went and got stocked up. But then I was like, okay, well, I don't have anything to do. I'm gonna do my hair, right? So it takes like 6 hours and sometimes my hands get tired. And what I found is all that food, I got bored. So I was like, well, let me just take a break and eat. Break and do a little bit more break. Oh, let me just take a break and eat.
Groceries.
And now half my food is
All
gone.
the groceries
Half
are
my
gone.
food. And I was like, what happened to all my food? I ate a whole box of cereal. How?
Skip the milk. Just went right in.
I didn't do that bad.
Okay, good.
I didn't do that bad. I am out of milk though too.
Okay, so for me, I'm having the opposite problem. So normally, if you're in the office with me, you know that I'm eating a lot, eating all the time. I didn't stock up either. I bought like maybe a couple extra cans of like beans and bags of pasta, but I didn't go and like hoard the entire grocery store. But now I'm having this problem where I cannot eat anything that I have in my house because I'm afraid I'm gonna need it in the future.
You're gonna run out. So you're stockpiling?
Yes, I'm like,
That's what we call the fear diet right there. You know what I'm talking about? You're losing the calories, losing the weight by not eating because you're scared.
Yeah,
to eat the food.
exactly.
Yeah.
I lost a few pounds this weekend because I literally could not eat anything that I had.
That is hilarious.
I don't know what's going on.
Fear diet. Sure thing. Works every single time.
It was funny though going to the store because I went to Target to get like some household supplies. They didn't have toilet tissue, and I still need somebody to explain to me the toilet tissue thing.
Because coronavirus connects straight to doo-doo. Apparently, right? Because that's why everyone's getting all this toilet paper.
Is diarrhea a symptom?
No.
Then why are we getting toilet
I have no
paper?
idea. I don't get it. I don't get it. We saw pictures online where like the toilet paper section was cleared out, and right across was the soap, and it's fully in stock.
Oh.
And in my supermarket, it was the same as all hand soaps, everything. Hand sanitizer was gone.
Yeah.
But hand soap, like dishwasher, it was all still there. I'm like,
so this is the disappointment
priorities are
factor
wrong.
I have in people. Like even if toilet tissue is a thing, so where I went, toilet tissue was gone. Right across the aisle, a buttload of
Kleenex.
Yeah,
Like
get that.
just get
Yes,
that.
it
I
works.
don't understand.
I don't get it.
This intelligent level is really low on this one sometimes.
Very weird.
But at least Target was taking precautions. Like every person that went through, they were like Lysoling down the area.
Good.
So you still handed them your credit card with germs, but they're still trying. So.
I've been wiping down my credit card, my phone.
Yep, I've been doing
my
Apple
steering
Pay. Like,
wheel.
no,
Me
don't
too.
touch me. Boom.
Samsung
Don't
Pay
touch
everywhere
me.
I go. Right.
That's smart.
Oh, you don't have Samsung Pay? Oh, well,
I will. Yeah, I'm going elsewhere. Yep, not doing it.
Oh man, things are. I mean, kind of crazy out there
It
right
is.
now.
It definitely is.
It's a weird time. Just a message for all of you viewing at home. I think we have about 700 people tuning in right now. Amazing. That's, I think, the biggest audience we've had. Thank you for watching. We're going to be filling you in on all of the latest news with the NBA, the NFL, how the coronavirus is impacting all of the sports leagues around the world. We're diving into all of it, but I just want to thank you all for tuning in and remind you just to stay safe, stay inside,
be smart.
flatten the curve. Yes, please don't be going out to bars and restaurants if they're still open where you live. Stay
But
home.
they are, though, and I almost went because I was like, it's karaoke Saturday.
Man, do you see New Orleans? Like, they sent like 5 cops down Bourbon Street, like, idiots, go home. Idiots, go home.
I know. I'm shocked to see how many people are still like out at Warwick and Hollywood partying, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yep.
This is
Spring
ridiculous.
break out there doing chicken fights and stuff in the water. I'm like, yo, I understand you got an extra week, but you got an extra week for a reason. It wasn't to keep partying. It
Right.
was to get the hell home.
It was
Right.
to stay safe. To be honest, I'm kind of.
Oh.
Wow.
Here's
Okay,
my
Jackie.
phone.
All right.
I'm trying.
It's-
The Mark Cuban. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on.
Whoa!
I don't even remember what I was saying at that point. Oh, I'm enjoying being able to just be home and
Yeah.
read
It's great,
and watch
man.
Yep.
Netflix. I don't feel the pressure to go out.
But I've been watching too much of the like I watched Contagion again.
Look at you, but that's your fault. You're like, let me
Bad
check out
idea.
Parasite.
I watched Parasite.
See,
I watched
your
War
fault.
of the Worlds. I'm
Your
like,
fault.
man, I probably should have came up with a different movie
Now
plan.
knowing you're going to rewatch Walking Dead, like, this ain't going to happen.
Right.
And then you're going to start
Like-
thinking, like, oh, that's how it started. This is what we're going through.
Yep.
I cannot do that because considering how I'm already like turning myself into an anxious mess, not able to eat anything in
Right.
the house, I will not be watching anything that has to do with
Man.
diseases,
Smart.
health.
I'm on Twitter too much, so I'm the same way. Like, I see all of it on Twitter. It's one side. It's everything's crazy on Twitter, so I can add on and watch movies like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I do want to
I'll
say,
go
though,
insane.
take care of the elderly. I have been seeing a lot of
Yes.
stores around the country that are making time specifically for the elderly. I saw a story online that like broke my heart. There was this elderly couple, and they were afraid to go in the store because of how it was getting mobbed, and they literally like just found some random person was like, can we give you money? And that's so risky, like giving a stranger money and then thinking
Especially
they're
with
going to
what's
come out.
going on,
And
yeah.
but that person did, and that just made me think. So if you've got family that is older, just make sure you're looking out for them as well.
Yes, that's. I'm gonna try and figure out a way to get involved. If any of I have some older neighbors that live in my building, so I might go to the grocery store at like 6 a.m. tomorrow
Right.
just to see if they need anything, bring some stuff back.
nice
Yeah,
of you.
help out. This is a good time to be compassionate, be
Yep.
kind to one another, take care of each other, and. Well, now I want to get into some news.
Yes.
Let's. We've gotten into all
jump
the
in.
details about how we all should be behaving, but let's talk about the NBA and how during this hiatus they won't be drug testing their athletes. So the NBA and the National Basketball Players Association reached an agreement to not subject players to drug testing. So they usually will have 6 random unannounced urine drug tests during each season and off season, but now they're not going to be doing that. They're holding off. So that means recreational marijuana use will be okay for this time period. Some states do allow their players, if they're 21 and older, to partake in those kinds of activities, but others don't. And then, it also will impact, I guess, steroids and performance-enhancing drugs. What are your thoughts on this?
I was good with the marijuana, but the
And I think
steroids and the
that's-
performance
yeah.
enhancing, I'm like, hold on now.
And I
Hold
think
on.
that's what it was mainly put aside for, was for guys to, because pretty much these next 3 months is almost like an off season.
Yeah, right.
You know, at this
Yeah.
point, so it's like you want them to at least do whatever they can, like to stay home. I mean, a lot of guys are going to be going in on that, especially you, J.R. Smith, even though you're not signed by a team. I'm sure
Had
you're
to
going to
bring
take
up
advantage.
J.R.
Oh, man, I'm always going for J.R.
J.R.
Smith. But yeah, no, that just proves again that Adam Silver is he's a man of the people.
He is.
He's
Yeah.
a
He
man
is.
of the people.
He is.
Yeah, he's
Him and Roger Goodell really need to start hanging out. Hint, Roger Goodell.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I think this is probably a good idea just because obviously in this time, people are very anxious,
Right.
Myself included. So I'm sure these athletes are feeling the same way.
Can we get a Devin anxious counter? That's probably like the 4th time she brought it up. No, we're going to start it.
No, I need to stop.
Start it.
No, it's okay. No, every time it comes back, you expect a number from me. I'm going to add it up to the list. Go ahead. So we're on 4. Go ahead.
But I do know that some people will, smoke a little weed to deal with their anxiety, and I think that's perfectly okay. And I'm glad that these athletes will feel that they have the freedom to do that if they need it, if it helps them cope with whatever's going on.
Yeah, I'd rather them do that than the extra curricular drugs.
Correct.
I don't consider marijuana an extracurricular drug, but the performance enhancing drugs, though, like the fact that they're not going to test for that, though, is a little problematic. Because I would definitely I would never take a performance enhancing drug, but if I was in that mindset, I would do it now and get my weight up and all of that to try to be ready.
Because nobody's gonna be around you. You're gonna be in self-quarantine and stuff like that. Because right now it's just saying that you're FaceTiming with their trainers and stuff. It's not like they're coming to your house to see what you're doing. So you can be like, yeah, I'm good. You can just get the face up.
Why is your voice so deep all of a sudden?
Nothing going on.
Right.
I got something going on. I don't know what it is.
So that's a little,
you're right,
but at the same time, I get it. I know these athletes probably do that in the offseason anyway, and this is definitely more of an off-season for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it does make kind of sense, but I would just implore you guys, it's not healthy. Don't do that.
I know. It's not a good idea. Do you really feel that, I can see football players using performance-enhancing drugs, but do you really feel like basketball players?
We got a few
it depends on, and it depends on what, like, if you're trying to play big and do the bully ball, I know everybody accuses LeBron of doing that. I do not think that is accurate.
I don't think so, but I would. I remember in Miami, I was in that. Wait a minute, how did he get so big? I'm past that. I was younger.
That is called getting your gains.
Yeah.
Those is gains.
Yes.
I wasn't about it. I was hating.
But I get if that's your style of play and you're, bully balling your way in, you need to push people out the way. So I get that. But I don't think, Steph Curry all of a sudden being yoked up would be weird.
Yes.
And that would detract from his game, because that's not what he plays. But I get certain positions it would work.
Yeah. Well, hopefully people stay away from that.
And I'm sure they're still able to have because we have to remember in the offseason last year before with Alex Caruso, they can still issue a test for them, but it's not like they're under the guidelines where every day, because we were talking about a few lives ago, where they're checked regularly because within the season. But if you see him on IG, you see LeBron James looking like the Incredible Hulk, I'm sure that they can still, because of contract and stuff, they can still be like, let's send somebody over to LeBron James' house and stuff like that. But again, that's up to them.
But
to be
wait,
stupid
at this point?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
We have a question in here in the chat from Trey Stevens who says, wait, what did he say? Something about should we go straight into the playoffs? I wanted to read it.
No.
Yes.
And here's the thing.
My
If it
reason's
was, I know why. Okay. Let me get to the logic and then we'll get to Chris. So if it was a runaway race, if the 1 through 4 were just solid and then 5 was if it was just a runaway race, we had no chances of someone who's 10th or 9th hopping up and going into 8th, then I would say, you know what? Y'all didn't get it. Let's move on. But it's such a tight race.
Yes.
And there's such a possibility for us to see even the Pelicans go, you know what I mean? And I just wouldn't want to detract from that. I wouldn't want to say, especially if Zion goes, that's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a good look for the league because all eyes are on Zion anyway. So I definitely say, no, you have to let them play it through. I get why people are like, that's really going to change up the season. But it's worth it. It's totally worth it.
But I also understand the conversation because of how late it would be coming back because they already have the plans to hopefully end it by a certain time, like late August or whatever, so that they can still get some space in between then and a December start off. So I would understand why they would jump right into playoffs. But yeah, I would hope maybe 5 games or some small round. It's obviously not going to be the last 19 that they had left originally or whatever it was.
Yeah.
A 5-game window would be perfect. And as I was saying, selfishly, I would like it so the Knicks can quickly go on a quick 5-game losing streak so we can up our chances at a better draft pick. But outside of that, yes, with the Western Conference being as close as it is, the Eastern Conference too, because the Nets been going on a slide, so a lot of other teams like the Wizards can slip in as bad of a season they had, they can slip and get the playoffs. So yeah, I think it would be beneficial for some of these teams. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's necessary to have those remaining games, even if it's not all of them.
Yeah.
But actually, this is a good lead-in into our next news story that I wanted to fill you in on. So obviously, the NBA is suspending the season for an indefinite period of time. Initial conversations said that it would likely be for around 30 days, but now we've actually heard that it could be much longer than that. On Sunday evening, the CDC recommended that any gathering of 50 or more people in the U.S. be canceled for the next 8 weeks in response to the virus outbreak. Woj tweeted, "A number of NBA owners and executives increasingly believe a best-case scenario is a mid to late June return to play with no fans. Leagues scouting for possible arena dates all the way through August." And then Woj and Malika Andrews said, quote, "NBA teams operating G League franchises expect the rest of the league season will soon be canceled. Sources tell ESPN regular season runs through the end of March, playoffs until April. Players have been informed they'll be paid through the end of the schedule." Obviously, there's a lot of things up in the air right now, especially in regards to how quickly or how much the virus will continue to spread. So that will impact the return date for the league. But what do you guys think about this? Coming back in mid to late June is later than any of us anticipated it would be. So how do you think this is going to affect the offseason, the playoffs, the finals, everything?
Shout out to the super chat by Pahokee Sports. OG bringing in a lot of super chats saying, "Break gang stand up."
Thank you for the $3.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was Bobby Marks, who was with ESPN. He laid it out. I don't have the tweet in front of me, but he laid it out what it would look like if things were to go according to plan and we came back in June. But in his layout, it would be going straight into the playoffs. We would go from playoffs from June to about August, and then we would jump right into the lottery, the draft, and then like a fall league, and then other stuff, free agency, all other stuff, and then having a start back in December 25th on Christmas. So to me, I like that because these players then, because let's be honest, like that November time and the time when the season normally starts, nobody's really watching basketball because that's like in the heat of the NFL season. I mean, people are watching basketball, but I feel like December is like that perfect time because then we also get basketball within the summer when there's actually no sports going on. I mean, yes, baseball. Sorry, baseball fans out there. But I like that window of December to August better than what we were going through with the October to June. And I think that this is the chance that we get to test out that new season, a new season idea that they were talking about 2 years ago. And I think it'd be cool. I personally like it. I'm for it.
So then this season would start on Christmas Day.
That's what Bobby Marks was saying.
But then you would have to continue that indefinitely, right? Because you can't just all of a sudden say, "Oh, now we're going back to the regular."
Unless they do a thing where they're going to do, all right, well, next season's going to, like, knowingly, next season's going to be shorter. We're going to have, like, a 55-game
Unless
season.
they do that. Because I wouldn't like to go to that system indefinitely. And the reason why is because...
You wouldn't?
Because once football is over, then it's like, cool, I got the NBA. So if they're kind of if they're mirroring each other just even a tiny bit with the scheduling, because there's we have
football's over in February.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we have basketball to carry us through, and then we have that 2-3 month window where there's nothing. Sorry, baseball again. We got it.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're saying you do like the new schedule? Because the new schedule would carry on into that low area that we were talking about. Yeah, because when it's over in August, that's right in the heat of football starting back up, spring training and all that stuff. So we're literally going to jump right into the NFL.
So if we do that indefinitely, then I'm cool with it.
Oh, so you're saying,
If we say, okay, we're just going to do it right now and then switch
right
back, then I don't think I like that. So maybe I was wording that wrong. But yeah, but I mean, and then it'd be one of those getting on the swing of it, for the players. But I think the players are going to fall right in line.
Me too.
Especially with having this break.
And
I don't think it's going to be
Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Like,
I think they'll fall right in line with it. For sure.
So
you got a super chat.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna. Okay, we'll do that right now. LA Moments. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Is there going to be an NBA draft this year?
Yes.
Yes, there will be a draft.
100%.
And I have another question that I want to ask you guys. But first, so with your theory about how the season will play out, you're anticipating that the off season will be from what? Until
August to, I think they said they would do like a 3-game preseason.
Right.
I'm going off the top of my head, but it would be, the preseason would be the beginning of December, and it'd be like a 3-game preseason. So it's just all the basketball will start in December pretty much. So between end of August to December would be the off season. I feel like that's long enough.
Yeah, I mean that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Because football will literally be starting. So I mean,
so for the diehard sports fans, this is like the best case scenario.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I love this idea, but again, I only love it if it's here too and forevermore.
Yes, me too.
That's the only way that I love it.
Yeah, and I can see that actually happening. That seems like it's probably going to be the most likely scenario out of all of this.
Right.
There was a question in here. No, it wasn't Anthony.
Okay.
Trey Stevens said, do you feel this will hurt draft stocks for college players with no March Madness?
See, and that was one of my concerns before.
year.
Yeah.
Is because, so here's the thing. Technically speaking, no. Because these teams already know they already have who they want to draft in place. They've already seen enough footage. They've been to enough games. They've sent out scouts. They already have an idea who they want to pick up.
Right.
For us, the fans that we really maybe don't watch college basketball the whole time, we kind of zone in on the right players during March Madness. So for us, it kind of takes away from our opportunity to be like, oh, I love this guy. And that's just for the novice fans. There's some diehard college basketball fans that get up every single Saturday morning.
When your team is in there, you pay attention to the good players.
You pay attention a little bit more,
So,
right?
hello. So my name's Chris.
So I think it does take away from the fandom aspect of it, because now you're not going to hear these names as much, and now you're going to have to do some research maybe to figure
And that's what
out
I was
who
going to
these
say.
players are.
I do feel like it takes away from like the Ja Morants. Like obviously people knew who Ja Morant was last season, but he cemented his spot in in March Madness. And there's every year there's some player that does that steals eyes. Like, whoa, who is that guy? Yeah, steals the show. And I feel like it might hurt some of those guys that are like, that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th pick that could have possibly jumped up because of March Madness. But other than that, I don't think it would, because I mean a lot of people know who's going to be good and scouts, like you said. But
Jacqueline Williams made a good point. He says, I disagree. The Cinderella team always highlights a hidden gem, and that is true. That's really when we see those. So I get that. But as far as I think right now, we're talking about teams that already kind of know what they're going to do. March Madness enhances it, but they already know what they're going to do. They knew what they were going to do before going into the tournament, to be honest. So.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be, it definitely changes the landscape of basketball here, having all of these breaks, all of these cancellations and suspensions. It's pretty wild. I want to get into our second update. We've seen a trend among athletes, specifically NBA players, who have been donating money to offer relief for the coronavirus. Oh, we got another super chat. Thank you for the donation.
Right.
Noodable face GG. Prayers to everyone at the Fumble and at home on being safe through everything in this pandemic. Stay safe, wash your hands, be clean. Love you, Fumble.
Thank you. That was
that
very
was a great
sweet.
super chat. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, well, let's jump right back in. So the latest NBA player to donate money was Karl Anthony Towns. So he announced on Sunday that he's donating $100,000 to the Mayo Clinic to assist in getting more tests for the coronavirus to the public.
Nice.
He tweeted, Mayo Clinic has begun rolling out a test to detect the virus that causes COVID-19. My hope is that we can fight this virus quicker and more efficiently by increasing the testing capabilities and availability and Mayo Clinic's overall COVID-19 response. He added, this is why I will be donating $100,000 to support these efforts. Thank you to the Mayo Clinic workers and all healthcare workers who are working around the clock to treat us. You are our heroes. We're all in this together. Let's protect ourselves and the community around us. So I thought that was a really great donation for him to make. He's kind of following a trend here, but hey, I think it's a good trend to be participating in.
He's going a little bit different, because the trends have been going towards like the people working in the stadiums and stuff like that. This is I like this.
This is a good one. This one keeps us safe. I did have one of those petty moments though, and it's not towards Karl Anthony Towns at all. But I remember when what's her name had the booty antics. Lizzo had the booty antics. My first thought was, did they test the chair? Because she was shouting out Karl Anthony Towns that that was her boo. I'm like, did y'all test that chair?
So then you thought Lizzo
I was like, let's go back and test the chair.
Right.
Since we out here testing.
You know what? I was at that game when
So was
that happened.
I. Yep, and I was right across from her, and the people that I were with, they would say, "Oh, Lizzo's here." I'm like, "She's gonna do something foul. Just count it down, 10, 9."
And you saw on the big screen, like, there it
about
comes.
45 seconds later than I thought, but it happened. I was like,
See, I just saw her. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Lizzo. And then all of a sudden, my friend and I saw her twerking, and we were like, wait, was that her bare
The funny
ass?
thing was my friend's mom was with us, and she was like, "Oh, it's such a nice dress with that different color in the middle." And I'm like, "No, that is her booty."
That is
so funny.
No.
Okay, well, let's
But
go.
I love that because that's when Karl Anthony Towns, everyone was making fun of him, and that's when I saw this. I'm like, oh, I wonder what put this thought in his head, because like you're saying, everyone else went to let me give back to the people who are out of work for this, and a lot of people don't even have the coverage to do that. So I was like, I wonder what put him to the let's make sure we got adequate testing thought. And then I was like, maybe it was Lizzo.
Yeah, maybe she was the inspiration. I actually do think that this was a really, really awesome way to show his support. I think what the other athletes have been doing is incredible as well. But I think for him to go and give money to something that will actually provide testing and keep people safe, like that's a very smart move.
Yeah, because at the top of it, we only had enough even here in LA to do 100 tests per day or something outstandingly low.
Yeah.
Because there's how many people in this city, and we can only do 100 per day. So obviously, and that's the scary thing, is if you have it and don't have any symptoms, because a lot of people don't have any symptoms at all, especially if you're relatively healthy. Yeah. Rudy Gobert didn't have any symptoms either.
But he was sick.
He was, but like a cold sick, not like
so that wasn't connected to the coronavirus at all?
Well, they say
No, I'm just saying if you had a cold, especially right now in LA with the temperature, and this is the weather where everyone typically gets sick, and it's allergy season here. So if I was sniffing, I had a friend that FaceTimed me from Vegas, because he went to Vegas supposedly to try to cover the tournament, but it was canceled, so he was stuck there.
Yikes.
So he's sitting in the airport, and somebody's like, and they're right behind him on video, not covering their mouths, just straight up sneezing, and you're like, and it just immediately sends you to this place of kind of fear, where normally you'd be like, yo man, you nasty, you know what I mean, and you just laugh it off, and it wouldn't be a thing. But now when you see this, you instantly go to fear, and you're like, is this a cold? Is this allergies? Does he have the virus? You don't know. Yeah. Whereas I would just automatically think, because this is the time of year where I just really start sneezing crazy, because I didn't have allergies before I moved to California, but then suddenly, so I would just be like, oh, that's allergies, and I would just shake it off. But now I'm like, oh God, what is that?
I know, same with me. Like I was drinking iced tea yesterday and swallowed some a little too soon and started coughing, and I'm like, oh my God.
Right. What kind of cough is it? What is this? I need to see something.
Looking at the iced tea.
Is there virus in this tea?
Yeah, I got really paranoid after that. Just for a little bit more context on what the Mayo Clinic is doing. So Christopher Snowbeck, I guess a writer for the Minnesota Star Tribune, reported on Thursday that the Mayo Clinic lab in Rochester, quote, started making tests available to healthcare providers at Mayo on Thursday and will open the supply to others in the coming days. Mayo's initial capacity of 200 to 300 tests per day is expected to grow in the coming weeks. They also said in their press release for Towns' donation that its plan is to increase the production of COVID-19 tests to 1,000 per day in the near future. So that's all in response and in relation to his donation.
It's a big jump,
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I think, even though, again, shout out to all the players that are donating to these people who might be out of work.
And James Dolan. I'll give you your credit. I said it last week. I didn't think it was going to happen. Shout out James Dolan.
Yeah, but I think that testing is also another line of defense, because we don't want you to lose your job, but at the same time, we need to get in front of this. And I think testing and then developing a virus or a vaccination is the only way to do this. So this is dope.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes. Good move.
So who else needs to step up and make a public donation in terms? So we've obviously talked about like a Golden State Warriors owner.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I missed that.
No, it was after. It was afterwards. No, James Dolan did too, but it was literally that night, Friday, where I saw the tweet. I'm like, well, look at you.
Oh, I didn't see the tweet. I didn't see it.
That's the
okay.
thing. Delano was saying that in our chat, because he was saying there was a lot of other owners that were doing it, but they weren't being as public about it. And he was one of the few that the tweet came out with it. But I mean, I think like you were just saying, at this point, like that's awesome, because that needs to happen, because a lot of those people have, like you were saying last week, like they got all kinds of jobs, are probably working on top of working in stadiums. But a donation like this from Kat, to me, I feel like that is a big step, because that is, like you said, this is something that's benefiting all of us in the way that we need to be benefited right now, because we need to start knowing who has, who doesn't, because we're quarantining, but we could be quarantining we could be holding it, but we don't know it because we're not taking the test. Because just like we said, we could be carrying it, but we're not showing any signs.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I still am on the fence with it because the United States government, I don't want to quote the exact price, but I know it was in the billions of dollars that they donated to developing a vaccine, right? So I know on one hand we're all like, yay, that's great, but then there's a side of me that's like, when's the last time you saw the government donate billions of dollars to cancer research or HIV research? Because that's pharmaceutical, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I get it, COVID is bad, but there's worse. And so I'm just kind of like still in that place where I'm like,
Yeah, I know. It really makes you think. It makes you think about a lot of different things.
Right.
A lot of things that we may not realize are going on behind closed doors. But regardless, on a surface level, I'm glad to see that these athletes are stepping up. Some of the owners are stepping up now. That's what we need to see happen. There might actually be a silver lining here. Matt Barnes thinks there is, at least. Obviously, fans everywhere are disappointed that the NBA season is no longer happening as it was. It's, on this indefinite hiatus. As we've been talking about, athletes are also frustrated that they're unable to play. But Matt Barnes said, quote, "If there's any kind of silver lining, and it's hard to address it now, but if you give these guys a break going into the playoffs and you build the anticipation of the NBA coming back, you're giving the best players in the world an extra 2, 3, or 4 weeks off or more," as we talked about earlier. He continued on saying, quote, "The energy of the playoffs is going to be off the charts. It's going to be the best playoffs we've seen because everyone is fully rested and fully healthy." And that's actually a really good point because there have been a lot of teams who are struggling with injuries that could
going right
be
into the playoffs.
and now they're going to have time to recover. They're going to have time to rest, build some strength. So it could actually really change the game for the playoffs. What do you think is going to happen now that some of these teams have had an opportunity to take some time off?
So I think it's exactly what you said. I think it gets better. And I think that although I think the NBA is probably losing money right now, I think they're going to make all of that money back because we are going to be jonesing so bad for the time that they come back. And then some of your favorite players might be healthy, so now you got merch sales going up. So I think it's a win-win for everybody, and I think it's going to make the playoffs that much more intense, you know what I mean? Because now you just have everyone's back and 100 because this is a long time that people have to get healthy. So I think it's a win-win for everyone, and I think that that's an unexpected win, but I think it's really good for the league. Yeah.
Well, what teams do you think are going to benefit the most from this time off?
Los Angeles Clippers.
Hands down, because they've kind of had injuries going in and out, and I think that the thing is now the Battle LA, while that's an intense battle right now, that's just been elevated. Because now you have a healthy Clippers who've done everything they can to be able to beat the Lakers, and the Lakers, even 100% healthy, don't have the equipment to beat the Clippers. So now it's like, oh damn, what are we gonna do?
It's also beneficial to the Bucks too because Giannis was out with the sprained knee for a while, and now he gets to fully recover and go right back into making that team as powerful as they were before. So
but LeBron also had that nagging groin injury, so now that he can be 100% from that, he's gonna have to be on some sort of extra playoff mode because
well, he's going to Wakanda, so they're gonna get him right over there. But we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that. But I think it's gonna be, and I think again it's gonna be one of those things where now you're not even just trying to watch your team in the playoffs, you're literally trying to watch everybody because everybody's 100%. It's intense and it's good.
And we haven't watched basketball in 3 months.
Right, so we're like, what's on next? What's on next?
Right. I'll be watching the Nets like basketball. I'm gonna be excited, man.
Oh he's gonna accidentally buy a Nets jersey.
All right, see, now you go too far. I'm not going there. I'll give him a view, but that's as far as they'll get.
I tried it.
No.
Can't wait to see how Chris changes once
no,
you get
it's not happening. Not happening.
It's gonna be the playoffs. You're gonna have to represent, and you can't.
Look, I will be representing whoever is whooping their tail in the playoffs. That's what I'll be representing.
That's great. That is great.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Wait, real quick. But that makes me think though, because if the playoffs coming back in June, can KD come back?
I was going to ask that.
So that's what I was thinking. KD can come back. Potentially.
Man, that would be such a...
I don't think he would.
I don't think so either, but that would be hilarious.
I know.
Like, y'all thought? All I needed was to get in.
But see, I would recommend him not coming back
too,
because
100%,
remember when he came back with the Warriors and then it was like,
100%.
what was it, a couple seconds and then wha-bam, he was there.
No, I agree.
Hold on.
What about Klay Thompson?
See, I thought about Klay, but absolutely not.
But what are they going to do? No, they ain't in the playoffs though.
I'm still very anti-Steph coming back. So if Klay came back just to be like, I'm here. No, don't.
It's like, please don't.
Don't just do something else. Go watch your highlights.
Yeah, take a nap. Okay, let's jump into our last need-to-know news story. The NFL CBA has passed. The final vote was 1,019 to 959, since 53.5% of players voted yes, which is close
That's crazy.
Close to half.
It
means things were very, very close, and reactions on the internet were mixed, but largely negative. Odell Beckham Jr. tweeted, 500 plus voices, 500 plus opinions, hella disappointing. Couldn't even vote on your own future, can't even comprehend it.
Man.
So there were 500 players who didn't cast a vote, which is shocking. But people weren't really sure which way Odell was leaning. I can't remember if he's spoken out about the CBA in the past.
I don't
remember
remember him doing it.
I don't think he did, So we're not sure if he was against it or for it.
But you know he voted.
Yeah,
we know he voted.
Yeah.
And he's disappointed that some of his pro football players didn't. And I would be too.
Yeah, that's kind of like the election. Don't complain about anything if you didn't go out and vote. That's the only time you get to complain. Because now what I think really happened is, and I would imagine, and obviously I don't know these stats for sure, but what I would imagine is it's a lot of these younger players who didn't take the time to read it, then again, I don't know. I feel like a lot of younger players are probably voting for it because now they're going to get more money, whereas they wouldn't before. But there's just a lot of things in this CBA that I feel like if you took an hour and sat down to read it as a player, you couldn't have voted for it.
I can't do
There's
this.
just no way you could have voted for it. Now I get a lot of people are like, oh, but some of the retirees now are going to get more money. And that's true. But that's like an immediate result for a small group of people.
Because they're going to make all that money that they're giving on the front end right back. And this is when we're at the next CBA.
And to not understand. And so here's the thing. When you talk about people going out to vote for an election, I kind of get it, because at the end of the day, you're one person, so maybe it doesn't have, and there's a whole Congress and Senate and an electoral college. There's a lot of things that have to happen to make your vote count.
Right.
But
This
this
is a yes
affects
or
you.
no.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a yes or
you
no.
directly.
That's
That would
it,
be
yes.
like us having an opportunity to vote for something about the fumble, and and only one of us votes.
Yeah.
And it literally affects all of us. I don't
does.
understand it.
I don't either.
I'm disappointed in it.
When I first heard the report, minus the people not voting, when I just heard the vote and how close it was, I was like, damn, well, all right, I guess that's what it is. And then the reports started coming out that damn near 500 more people did not vote. That's when I was like, oh, so you got all these, like exactly like OBJ said, you have all these things to say, all these opinions, all these negative things and this and that, but you didn't want to take the time to vote and make that difference on how you were feeling about it. It's crazy to me. I don't understand it, but I don't want to hear anybody talk about it unless you did end up voting.
Yeah, but I did see a tweet. Who was it? Somebody went and posted an open letter, and it was a long open letter.
Yeah, I have it in here. DeMorris.
Yes. And Tom Brady, and basically what he said was, look, there's a lot of ins and outs in the CBA. It's a lot. I posted it on my Instagram, but it's too much to read. I
have a summary here.
Okay.
So he tweeted an open letter that addresses how the collective bargaining agreement was, he feels, the best deal that they could have gotten.
That's crazy.
He says He says if they renegotiated, it would have been worse, especially now with like the downward spiral that the economy is in right now. He recognizes that players didn't get everything they wanted, but he thinks it's good for now. And
They didn't get it. See, that's the thing. We're talking about a league that it's detrimental to your health. Look, I like watching it. I probably, if I had a kid, wouldn't let him play unless he was a kicker.
Same.
But
Yeah.
I love this sport, and it saddens me to know that even though I enjoy watching this game, that these people are going to suffer at the end of their lives because of this game. And I think when you say, "Oh, this is the best choice for us now," but it's not though. And that for him to say that, and then where I really got disappointed was Tom Brady co-signed on it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo.
But were you surprised?
I guess I wasn't surprised that Tom Brady.
Me too. That's the Tom Brady part. I wasn't really too surprised about it.
I would like to say I wasn't surprised because I think Tom Brady has accepted that he's the face and he's got to be the yes man or whatever. But at the end of the day, Tom, you old, you 42. Like you of all people should
He's about to retire.
understand.
He's about to get paid. You gonna get some money.
I understand, but then you've got these young kids in the league.
Gotta look out for them.
See, and that's the problem with this virus, though, right? Like, we got to look out for each other. That's been the message that we've been disseminating. Look out for each other. Look out for each other. But now we're like, oh, no, it's about self.
Not
it
every
is so
GOAT
disappointing.
is LeBron James. Like,
Right.
Brady, when's Brady ever really speaked out about other people's benefit or anything against anything that's been going on in the NFL. That's not Brady, and that doesn't take anything away from what he does on the field, but that's just not who Brady is. Brady just goes with the
flow. Which is disappointing to me, because I guess maybe, being the LeBron fan that I am, I guess that my GOAT mentality says it's not just about what you're doing on the field. You got to give a damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you don't, I can't put you in that category. I don't know who else I'd put in there besides Tom.
I think that's where a lot of people, and this is a different conversation, but that's where a lot of points get taken off from Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan was very similar, where it's just like he was in his own lane. I'm out here getting buckets and winning. That's all I care about. The rest I can give a shit about, But.
Yes. When people, I think in these times when athletes stay non-political, it's just like when you,
it hurts.
It hurts. And you end up voting for the oppressor or whatever the side is that isn't in the best interest of everybody else. When you stay quiet,
But you can stay quiet and vote, though.
And
that's the thing. You can be like, I don't have nothing to say, but let me just vote. And there's plenty of people that, my mom was like that. You'd ask my mom all the time, like, who you vote for? That's none of your business. You know what I mean? Like, and
that's how my mom is too. Like, tell me.
I need to know. We need to argue or not. But she's very much like that. But you can still.
You do your mama like that?
I do. Because I need to know.
My mom. J.R. Smith a few weeks ago, man.
My mama be late though. Like, it be 5:45. You supposed to be there at 6. My mom be like, I'm getting a shower.
At least you don't do what I do. Like, you don't pull that whole line like, oh, I'm down the street.
Right. Like, you just got in the car.
Just turned off my car.
That.
I am guilty.
Well, some final things I just want to mention. Allen Robinson said that he thinks it's trash, the vote. The biggest issue that the players are having with the CBA is the expansion of the 16-game to 16-game season to a 17-game season, which will go into effect in 2021. It will shorten the preseason to accommodate that. But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a strange time. Very bizarre that 500 people did not cast a vote for this when it's going to be, when the impact of it is so far-reaching. So.
And I would love to, and I know we would never hear from them, but I would love to just sit down with like 3 of them and say, okay, you didn't vote. Tell me why.
Yeah. You're not going to know who didn't vote?
Right.
They're going
right.
to
and I would also like to,
they're going to lie.
Right. I'd also like to find out if a lot of people who voted for it specifically because of the weed aspect. Yeah. Because if you voted for it because of the weed aspect, then you don't understand that this isn't really that good of a thing.
Yeah.
It's still a problem. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's sad to me, and I just feel like in 10 years from now, we're going to have some of these young guys, because your career is not that long. And it might even be shorter than 10 years. You playing running back position, you take that one big hit, or you playing quarterback, and now all of a sudden you Mr. Glass, RG3, and you take that one hit, and it's different for you. Now you're looking at retirement, and it's different.
The average running back's career is like, 4 years?
4 years.
4.5 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't know. It's sad to me. Yeah. I feel for all the players in there. I feel for the players that maybe thought they had an understanding of it and actually don't. I feel for the ones that maybe were swayed. You know what I mean? So it's not a good time. It's not a good time. And that first extra game of the regular season that we see, when we see like 2-3 people get hurt, I'm going to be livid.
Or even before then. Like, imagine 2 weeks before that when you're thinking that you're going to go right into the playoffs. But no, you got that extra game. They come back and they're playing hurt for an extra regular season game when they could be playing hurt for the playoffs and going for... I don't know,
It's going to shorten some careers. I'm telling you. It's going to shorten some careers. And it's unfortunate. And I just always have to go back to Mark Cuban. He said this was going to happen. He said that the NFL was going to get too greedy and they were going to start making moves just to make more money. They were going to stop caring about the players, and eventually it was going to implode. And I think we're on the beginning of that now.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do.
Well, let's transition into some lighter news.
Right?
Chris?
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it is light because at least we know we got football from Tim Williams.
Right.
I mean, there's
That's
that.
true.
There's
right.
that.
That's true.
But yes.
The silver lining.
Yeah. See, there we go. Always got to find it somewhere. But what's up, everybody? Time to post up with your boy Chris. And starting off with Stephen Curry, everybody's favorite poster boy. We've been talking about it all week about him fighting that he actually had the thing when he really was just fighting the flu. We saw the whole fake sneeze. If you didn't see it, videos posted up on this channel. Go watch it after this live. But over the weekend, he posted a PSA that I'm sure all of us on this table could 100% agree with.
Yep.
I'm not gonna play. We're gonna show it, but I'm not gonna play the whole thing because that's on the video. If you go watch it after this, but he's pretty much telling everybody to stay the hell home. Stay home, and we need to stop the spread because that is the biggest thing right now. Is we need to stop the spread so we can then, when the vaccine's ready, or then when we have enough tests and we can find out who has and who doesn't, then that's when we can start, attacking it the way we can. But the thing is, we got people like we were talking about pre-show. We got people over in Bourbon Street celebrating, Mardi Gras when it's not the time to be doing that. We got people spring break in Florida, drinking and having fun at beaches and talking about Atlantic Ocean is safe, so whatever, blah blah blah. Like we gotta contain this thing. We gotta stop the spread before we have a situation where the entire country has to be locked down, stuff like that. It's up to us. It's really up to us to control the situation. So shout out to Steph. Hopefully you guys, like I said, go watch the video. Whole thing's right there. You can check that out. Then we're moving on to, I want to know if you got an invite to this next one. But LeBron James, he made a funny tweet over the weekend because the news just keeps spreading about the whole coronavirus. And we need to find out later if Jackie got the invite. But LeBron James posted this tweet saying, "I'm headed to Wakanda. Hashtag James Gang and my closest friends and family. See y'all on the other side." Jackie, we need to know, are you in the gang going over to Wakanda? And if you are, say what's up to T'Challa for me, please.
I am going to Wakanda, and I before T'Challa, I would take the hoo-ha, the guy. He's so
you're going, what's his name? I have watched from the mountain.
So fine. I will be in the mountain, just so you know. It's challenge day.
Yeah.
I'll be in the mountain. But so here's, I will be in the mountain.
Wait. This is the real question. So you going in the mountains before you hanging out with LeBron?
Look, I'm going to go
Wakanda?
over to Wakanda with LeBron, and then I'm going to go to the mountain.
Oh, snap.
I mean, there's already a Queen James, so I ain't gonna compete with that. I'm gonna take my ass to the mountains. But so here's what I thought.
I have watched from my couch.
Here's what I thought the hidden message was, and y'all know sometimes I be reaching, so it's okay. But here's what I thought the message was. So there was this post last week that said, because there was no deaths in Africa from the coronavirus. And so last week, a medical professional posted, Africa has just seen their first death. It's a German citizen. And then somebody from Africa said, so we still at 0. So, since Wakanda is in Africa and nobody seems to be dying over there, I feel like LeBron was like, we going over
actually going to Africa.
That's what I thought the hitting meaning was.
Here's my beef with it, though. And he's supposed to be in the next Space Jam. That's Bugs Bunny and the crew over at Warner Brothers. Wakanda is part of Marvel and Disney. So you got to pick a side, my man. This is very flip-floppy, like,
if you gotta pick a side, pick Marvel because they got more money.
You right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
You know what, LeBron, you got it, man. You do your thing over there, LeBron. So now we got what I'm calling the Giannis series because we got quite a few things from the Antetokounmpo family over the weekend. But we're starting off with a tweet by Giannis where he's had enough of being at home with wifey and new baby Liam.
I thought they were having fun. Look like they were having fun.
Right.
But he tweeted out, "If this is how my life is going to be after basketball, I'm not retiring for a long time." At Mariah, hashtag 25-year career. I mean, as fans, we want that. We want that.
Fans were like, yes!
Yeah, that'd be dope. But Mariah was not having any of the slander. Jokes be damned, because she responded by saying, "You will literally drive me crazy, so the longer, the better." And I loved Giannis' simple comeback with just this picture right here, like, yes, ma'am.
Right. Good answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Good answer.
Perfect response.
Didn't they post that cute video of them all dancing?
They did.
Yes, they did.
Like, you guys are enjoying it.
They're obviously joking. Yeah, me and my girl
I
would be saying like the same kind of things. Like, I cannot be with her for this. We actually, with everything going on, we about to be co-workers. Me and my girl are about to be co-workers. So she gonna be on one side of the apartment, I'm on the other side. She's like, can I go in your office? I'm like, no, you can go by the kitchen table. That's what you can do. But it's the same thing. It's all fun. It's all fun.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, by myself. Yeah.
Your voice always gets deep when you lie.
When I lie, right?
I just need you to know that we know that.
That's a Medea movie, right? With, I don't know. Look at it. Someone in the chat will figure it out.
Oh my God, that is great.
But yeah, speaking of fun, Mariah posted a video of Giannis trying to play the guitar. I'm gonna let you guys hear that. Listen to him. I'm trying. Look. He's in it too. Look, he got the leg up.
Yeah,
and the head bobbing like.
Yeah, he's like, boy, I killed that thing, girl.
I love the leg back up.
Right.
This is how
such a
guitars play,
stance.
right?
Yeah.
This is
All
how
he
they
needs
do
is
it,
a piece
right?
of straw in his mouth, and then it'll be complete.
All I'm saying
So
is if
good.
this boy puts as much effort as he does in the basketball into the guitar, this dude gonna have a single by June.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
really single with his return to the NBA. I'm looking
Victor
forward to it.
Oladipo will be singing background on it. I
Yes.
co-sign on
I'm
that.
saying,
I
yo, that'd be
co-sign
an
on
album.
that.
I
That'd
love
be a
that.
bop. That would be a bop. This next one's dope. I love trick shots. I mean, everybody, whenever you go through the internet, you see a trick shot. This one is insane. This dude shot from one side of the band. So look at this thing. I don't know if you can see it from this far, but he tried to get into the little cup. He missed that first one. Watch the roll. Shooters bounce. And it gets in there.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
insane.
That is insane.
That is crazy.
I love the reaction.
But I don't know if you guys are a little bit pessimistic like me. I always have the question,
Was
how
it
many
Eddie?
times do you try it?
Who cares?
Who cares if you made it
You
once?
made it one time.
That's
So you're in that
impressive.
camp. That's okay.
Yes.
That's nice to you guys. Nah, man.
Why? What camp
Behind
are
the
you
scenes,
in, Chris?
if they do that like 80 times and you get that one time and then, because obviously everyone's like, oh yeah, that's insane. But when you're in the mood and you're not in the mood, you're in the situation and you have to be up there pretending to be excited every single time it goes back and it's not going in the cup. I'm feeling for the
I
boys,
still
the hype,
would be
the hype man.
excited though. On that 80th time, I'd be like, you
You're right.
did it!
We can get out of here. I've been eating for 2 hours. You're right.
Oh my
It's okay.
God.
Shout out to this guy.
That is
Yeah, I
great.
thought that was pretty
No,
nice.
no, it's dope.
I did
It's dope.
too.
100%. It's dope. And last but not least goes to one of my favorite childhood games, Duck, Duck, Goose. And
I love
these
that
boys
game.
were out here playing a solid game of Duck, Duck, Goose. Now, shout out to my boy, the shirtless dude, because he knew just who to pick. Because he went over to my man, the hoodie, who wasn't even sitting up straight. Picked him, said, got your goose. And look. Watch him hit this curve. He gonna hit this thing way too hard. Lost time, and he's out. But that's part of the game, man. You gotta strategize. You gotta know the weak link before you pick him, and I think he knew exactly what he was doing. First of all, he was facing the wrong way. Second of all, he probably got no what's it called? Traction on his shoes.
He probably got
Played
on
him.
his dress shoes with his sweat.
Right. He looks like it. But he didn't have to fall like that. Did like 5 rolls.
Hey, if you're gonna fall big. Shoot.
Oh
my God, like my neck and my back.
I want to play a high stakes game of Duck, Duck, Goose
I
like
used
that.
to. I am
What's
so
high
good.
stakes to you?
Well, I mean, just watching how fast these guys. I mean,
High stakes
I
means
would-
you have something to lose.
Is there money on
Yeah.
it?
but like, my pride is what I would lose.
Okay.
That's high
Okay.
stakes.
You know what we
enough.
could do? We could play Duck, Duck, Goose. If Devin wins, we have to go vegan for a week.
Oh,
That's
That
actually
actually
a
would be a
solid
good
I
bet.
love that.
Game, yep.
Actually, I do run, so I'm probably faster than everyone.
Back in my day, they didn't like to pick me for Goose because I was the guy that. Oh, the people. Back in my day when I was Goose. Because it's not a lie. Anyway,
That is hilarious.
take it over, Jackie.
All right, so first WTF moment of the day has to go to Houston Texans because they have traded DeAndre
Yes.
Hopkins to Arizona. And this WTF, who is Deshaun going to pass to?
I know, man.
Who
Shout out to
is
Kenny
he gonna
Stills.
pass?
Ex-Saint, I still love you, bro, but that's not
one
enough.
dude.
That's not enough. It's
That's
not enough.
one
Nope.
guy. It's a good look for Arizona, but
Yeah.
I just feel like, oh, man.
Houston just.
If
no,
you are a
man.
Houston Texan fan, please let me know how you feel about this, because when that came across my Twitter, I'm like, that's fake news. That is fake news. And then I looked and it's real. I feel bad for y'all.
Adam
I feel.
Schefter.
Yeah, Adam Schefter said it was so. So, look, WTF moments. So we know that everybody is watching their own hype. We saw LeBron do it last week. But first of all, WTF moment for me, Hulu sent me a notification that said, hey, watch NCAA college tournament live now on Hulu. And I was like, oh my God, they changed their mind. I go and it's a recap from 2010, y'all. They got me. They got me. They got me. And I was mad.
Hey, Hulu has replayed sports. That's the commercial, right? That's how the commercial goes.
I was mad. But the NBA has a better idea. So Spencer tweeted, any NBA players going on YouTube to watch their own highlights due to withdrawals. And Steph said at least twice a day. Donovan Mitchell, who, by the way, is asymptomatic right now. He's showing no symptoms of the virus. He said he is watching it from his rookie year to this year. Jason Tatum.
3 years.
Right. Yeah.
You dog.
But that could still take all day. That can still take all day.
And he also got a solid highlight reel, so that's fine. Yeah, 2 years is a lot.
Jason Tatum said, man, all day. And Bradley Beal said, can't tell me I ain't nice. And the list goes on and on. I am just definitely not mad because I have been watching that as well. I've been watching dunks, but they're all LeBron dunks, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie.
What? You want to sprinkle a little Zion in there, though? That's your boy.
I have been sprinkling a little Zion in there.
And he passed him all the balls every time he dunked the ball.
I don't know. Some light
it's that ball boy!
You know what? This inspires me because when we're going to be doing our lives and our stories from home for the rest of the week, I'm going to go back and reminisce on the good times when we had the nice
We should reenact this. I should tweet it like, hey, how many of my Fumble people actually rewatching their own highlights on the Fumble?
At least
2 times
twice a day,
I actually do watch my highlights. I be having some funny moments on here. I'm shooting my own.
I'm good.
I am funny.
She was in line at the grocery store because the lines are so long. You see, this is me. You see that?
This girl funny. You might not recognize it because I changed my hair, but this girl right here, she funny. All right, so look, one of the last names that I thought I would ever hear getting a big contract is Ryan Tannehill, y'all. But Ryan Tannehill just got a contract that's reportedly worth $118 million with an average of $29.5 million guaranteed per year. The deal has $62 million fully guaranteed and $91 million total throughout the course of the deal. And here's the thing about this with me. Their running back, Derrick Henry, number 1 running back in the regular season, number 1 running back in the postseason. They're getting nowhere with his deal. He's probably going to end up being franchise tagged. Now, Ryan Tannehill, he's gotten to their first playoffs since 1999, and he made it to his first Pro Bowl. But look, he was ranked 28th last season. 28th.
You could argue that Derrick Henry was probably the one that did most of the heavy lifting.
Derrick Henry did most of the heavy lifting, and Ryan Tannehill. Now he did play 12 games in the regular season with them last year. He was 7-3 in those games. He was 2-1 in the playoffs. He did throw for 5 touchdowns and 1 interception in the playoffs. But he's Ryan Tannehill. I don't know if you guys remember, and I do remember because I'm Queen Petty and I remember these kinds of things. Ryan Tannehill, when he was with Miami, didn't even know what division they were in.
You can't leave him alone.
And this the guy that we think can read a defense.
He caught the Florida.
You think this is the guy that can read a defense? He don't even know where he at. I don't know. I mean, I'm not mad at him because I get it when your team has been suffering since 1999.
That's it.
Or 96 if you're the Cowboys.
That's it.
You give the money to the person who made you feel like we got a chance. So I get it. But I don't know if I would have given him this money. Especially,
over Derrick.
Look, if I could afford it in the salary cap to give him this money after I signed Derrick, then okay. But he's definitely not getting money first because I think this is going to be one of those things where y'all gonna want that money back. And you can't keep receipts and contracts. Just once you put it out there, you put it out there. So that's a WTF for me. I feel like they're gonna think that he deserves it, especially when you have a win over Tom Brady. I think that just makes your stock go up a little bit. But that wasn't even him. That was Logan that sealed that up with that interception. Yep. So.
And somebody was running all over one of the best defenses in the game, and his name isn't Ryan Tannehill. It's Derrick Henry.
Right. So I'm just surprised that he gets his money first. Yeah. Like I said, if
weird.
you can pay him both, then but to know that the talks with Henry have gotten nowhere, like he's gonna end up getting that's disrespectful.
I mean,
it's just disrespectful.
Again, silver lining. I mean, this buys him time so then they can bring back the conversations when the next season starts. So maybe he's gonna get paid. It just didn't happen right now.
Well, yeah, because
so maybe
he's
that's
not
a free
agent to the end of this season.
So,
but still, we need.
He's still my first priority.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give him that pass.
Right, unless you're in that mind frame that running backs are prone to injury, so let's not give him his money because we don't know. But the thing is your depth chart. You better hope you don't get.
I'm saying.
I don't know. It's sad to me, but
there's a comment in here from Cleveland BCI who says, "Shout out to Tannehill. Nothing wrong with being a late bloomer." So
he's not wrong.
But he's not wrong. But Tannehill's 31. His contract is a 4-year contract. He's going to expire when he's 35. Yep. Tannehill is not. I get that, and I am all for the late bloomers because again, I was a late bloomer, just you know what I mean. So I get it, but I don't think he's going to continue to bloom. I think this is it. I think this is as big as we are going to see him. And I think you're giving him a continuous blooming contract.
Yeah.
And this isn't that. I don't think he's that guy.
Well, what about this? There's a comment in here that says it's an in-the-moment signing. Just look at how Fitzpatrick benefited from the same coverage last season just to be mediocre again.
I 100% agree with that.
You're right, but come on, man. Leave Fitz alone, man.
Fitz magic.
Put anyone behind that offensive line, and you're gonna be mediocre.
Okay, but I agree with that specifically, but you got to also follow the history of Fitzpatrick. He has those moments of, okay, Fitzpatrick to womp womp.
He's our new Jeff Garcia. This era's Jeff Garcia, where Jeff Garcia will, he had his moment like, oh, look at Jeff Garcia, and go to team and womp womp.
Right. So, yeah.
He's always got one of those in the NFL at one point, and he's just that this year.
I agree.
All right, well, that wraps up our news today, you guys. Just as a reminder, we are continuing on business as usual, going live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time if you're on the East Coast, so tune in. It is going to look a bit different. We're going to be broadcasting from our homes, but we are still posting, so check back with the Fumble, subscribe, put on those post notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and encourage all of your friends who are staying home from school or working from home to tune in tomorrow. 11 a.m. Now, before we close out, what's your one tip for making sure everybody stays healthy? Jackie, you go first.
Drink lots of water, and I think that's just a health tip just in general, but I read somewhere that if the more hydrated you are, the harder it is for the virus to develop, so drink lots and lots and lots of water. Stop with the sodas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then do your handshakes like this.
Oh,
we
yeah.
already developed the Fumble handshake, so make sure
We call this the Puree, Puree, not Purell. This is Puree, you know what I'm talking about? Because we fancy over here.
Okay, Chris, what's your tip for staying
Simple.
healthy?
Go watch the Fumble video from this morning and listen to what Steph Curry said, because I agree with every word. Stay the hell home unless you absolutely need to go and get some. If you're picking up food, if you got to get some more supplies, sure. But stay the hell home and stop the spread. Prevent the spread.
And for me, of course, wash your hands, but I'm not talking about, squirting some soap on and, all right, I'm done. No, you got to do it for 20 seconds. The way I do it is I sing the Truth Hurts chorus twice. Lizzo, chorus, twice. That's 20 seconds.
I love it.
I read sing happy birthday, count to 20. She's like, no,
Hey.
Truth Hurts twice.
Truth Hurts
If I'm
way
singing a
more
song,
fun.
the sound I like, all right? I respect it.
That is
way
great.
more fun that way.
That
So
is great.
keep yourself entertained, keep those hands clean, stay healthy, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye, guys.
Peace.